Good Moxie morning. Okay, so let's try to answer this question and think and put some things into perspective and think about this. So Marcia Kilgore, if you don't know who she is a raging successful serial entrepreneur that has started 5 businesses in 22 years. All of them are a raging success, and she has sold, and I'm gonna go through, hi Taylor, I'm gonna go through and just kind of tell you what she's done in the last 5 years, because frankly it's kind of outrageous, but in a good way, right? But I want to talk about like how her mind is different than others, and how others will struggle with one their whole life and never break past 50,000 or 100,000, or they give up because they say that 50% of businesses give up in 5 years. Okay, so, and sometimes it's a good thing, right? They start something else. But Marcia Kilgore, let's look at what she did. So she moved to New York at age 17. She moves to New York at age 17, and by the way, her dad died when she was 11, so they were not poor, but working class. Her dad dies when she's 11. She moves to New York, and she had $300 to her name, but she was able to, in 1996, so what she would have been, I don't know, I can't do the math right now, but she started a business called Bliss and sold it 3 years later, part of it 3 years later for several million, and then the other part 4 years later for 30 million to a hotel chain. So she started a salon, which was, she really worked on, it sounds like, the formula and the system within the salon and kind of revolutionized that formula. But she also had some celebrities come in, that helped too, right? There are several things that went on, but I'm here to tell you, Marcia is one, as a serial entrepreneur, you get over things fast, right? So if you really think about what she did, she sold part of it 3 years after she started it, and the other part she sold for 30 million. So I think it was like 50 million there that she sold. So she started a company, 3 years later sold it for around 50 million. Then she started in 2014 a company called Soap and Glory. I hadn't heard of it, but my daughter, of course, she's like, how could you not have heard of that? But I just don't use it. And she sold that, I don't know how many years later, but she sold that for 50 million. So we're looking at a span of 22 years. She started FitFlop. So she started out when she was younger as a fitness instructor. So she had these ideas that would come up, and she takes an idea and she runs with it. So it sounds like, from what I've read, she really is an idea person, loves to name things. So there's that creative component. But a lot of us have that creative component, okay? But do we have what it takes to make the big decisions, okay? Do you think Marcia, in starting these businesses and selling them and continuing to start, do you think that she sits around for very long with doubt? With a lot of doubt? No, but there's always going to be a little bit of doubt, but you get over it and you move forward. You've got to move forward. So she started in 2015 her 4th company called Foam and Substance. And I really didn't have time to research too much into that, but then she started Beauty Pie. Beauty Pie launched just last year. She's got 3,000 subscribers from what I've read, and I don't know when that article was written, but that article, went into, like what she seems to be able to do is, first of all, when you sell a company in 3 years and you've got some money to fund other businesses and you've learned from that, that is helpful, right? But here's the thing. When you do all the right things and you keep moving without doubt overcoming you, you're seen as a super successful serial entrepreneur. So the starting and stopping that most entrepreneurs do with their creative ideas, it prevents them from getting to that level. She was starting companies, but she was getting it to the level of success before she started another. In fact, I take that back. So the last 3 businesses, I think, were started in a short period of time together. So what is it going to take for you to get over your doubt? Like, what is it, when you really study this woman, or you study other serial entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, and how they will start one, sell it, and start another, what is it that they have that we or you don't, okay? So that's what I'm getting at here. And I think success stories are inspiring, but when you really think about what's going on in their mind, why can't you or I or anyone else do the same, right? Because I really do think it's all in your mind, because it's the actions that you take, or it's the inactions that you take. and it's the moxie, right? And it's the decisions, like creating a habit of being able to make decisions, not in an impulsive manner, but make decisions fast. I see from the people that I've talked to, it's a hard thing for them. And I think that's one of the pieces that holds them back the most. Okay, it's the doubt. It's worrying about what people think. So we're talking about somebody that came from a lower middle class from Canada, lived in, she's bored, she said, moved to New York at age 17 with $300 to her name and started a salon. I don't know, I think she was a stylist too. I'm trying to remember because it actually, the articles that I had read actually said that she was a fitness trainer, but maybe she was a stylist as well. But she started a salon and turned it into within 7 years total. Within 3 years of starting that business, she actually sold half of it, sold the other half for $30 million to total about $50 million. Now, why can't all of us do that? There are no excuses really for that. It's all in our mind. So it's like working on yourself to overcome decisions. Yes, overcome obstacles. We've all heard it before, right? Like that's almost overgeneralized. Like the overcoming obstacles, I think but even though it's generalized and it sounds general, it's like the key. Hi, Jason. How are you? I haven't seen you forever online. So here's the thing. Beauty Pie that she just started last year will be probably a raging success. She's probably got the investors. She's one of the investors as well, but she knows the industry, right? So she has the fortitude, she has the mindset, she has the thing, but she's also learning something new because she even mentioned this. She's learning online marketing and she's getting to know social media for the first time. She's learning a new way to market. But beautypie.com is the name of her newest company, and it will probably be a raging success because of her mindset. Not for any other reason. She's not one that will give up. She's got the connections, right? And so this new Beauty Pie, for instance, is, I think what she's done is, she's got connections to manufacturers, right? She knows some of the best products out there. When she's sold high-end products, she's sold lower-end products, and Beauty Pie, she is marketing it as high-end, but high-end product at lower end prices, okay? And she's created, there's a different business model around it. So it's subscription based. So she's really learning, as well as probably, getting some of the best on it to teach her and educate her about this. But here's the thing. She's learning in a new environment that she has not been in. And she has mentioned that. So things are going to be changing, and they're always going to be changing. And being able to do that is a skill. It's not always a gift, but it's a skill that you can learn, right? Discouragement stops most people. It does. And you know what it does is it strikes fear. Because it's almost like setbacks are different for everybody, right? But some setbacks will actually trigger somebody to go and retreat forever, right? Because the setback or whatever it is that happened was so traumatic. And that could be in the form of humiliation. It could be in the form of many things. But what is it that stops us and keeps us in that state of retreating forever? What is that? So it's different for everybody. But I think what I'm really wanting to do here is to get you to start thinking about what could be, okay, and what you need to get over in your mindset. Think about what could be and surround yourself with those that are doing it. Surround yourself and feed your mind with success stories like this, and keep it top of mind, because it's actually it's the energy that's going to keep you going, right? So you're going to have to start making decisions. You're going to have to start implementing a little faster. You're going to have to hire help. You're going to have to get screwed over by your help, like I have before, and learn those lessons and keep going. You're going to have to do it. At one point, I'm going to share some stories of had great virtual assistants. I had one virtual assistant that is like over the top insane. Okay, and we've got to, sorry about that. You've got to be able to get over those. So that's one obstacle, dealing with an insane person, how to handle that. 5 companies in 22 years. She's sold what? I think she sold all of them except Beauty Pie. I could be wrong. What I was able to research and find for sure is that she sold 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so for millions and millions of dollars. And it's not about, people get so hung up on the talk of success and money. When I say they get hung up on it, some people are really turned off by it. But here's how I see it. It's somebody that gave back big time. And it's not just in consumer consumption, like overconsumption. She's creating jobs. She's creating money to give back. And if we can see it in that way, like I have for years, and it's, I think that there's this new term called conscious capitalism. I'm not sure why we have to put the conscious in front of it, because some people have, not been conscious of the earth or the environment, right? But here's the thing. Creating jobs is high value for any economy. Creating jobs is high value. So for someone like this that's creating jobs and creating income for a lot of families, I have a high amount of respect for, and that is what I see, okay? I think that those that don't see that and want to look at the negative tend to, the negative in regards to money and success, I think that they're actually feeling not that successful themselves, right? And that can kind of eat at you. So I get a little bit of feedback that's negative because I do talk about money, because I help people make money, because I talk about success in a little bit of a different way than some. And that is because I want my kids to be successful and not only be able to thrive, okay, but to give back. And it's very hard to do that on a high scale or a high level when you haven't created the income and you haven't accumulated the skills and you haven't accomplished the skill set, mastered the skill set, I should say. When you haven't mastered the skill set, the inner work, and you haven't done the inner work, it's very hard to give back in a big way, okay? That's how I see it. And I just want you to think about that. There are others like Marcia. There are so many that are doing good things and creating jobs and creating abundance in their life and those around them that that we need to be more aware of. We really do. And then we need to ask ourselves, why can't I? So when I work with those that are struggling with the small, like the first year, a lot of times the first and second year of your business is really the hardest. And just like I said, if 50% of businesses give up within 5 years, that tells you something, right? So mastering new skills is not easy. It's not. But you got to do the inner work, understand yourself, become self-aware, and keep going. Right? And then always search out the right ways of doing it, and then test, track, and tweak to see what's working so you can keep doing what's working. Not analyzing what you're doing is also detrimental, right? Because sometimes looking at what you're doing and saying what's working and what's not working and how you can tweak it to make it work or give up and discover a new way, a new method, that puts things into perspective. And when you don't do that, the mind, how many times have we thought, oh, it was me? We go to what we think it is, but if you were to look at the numbers or the scientific, it's right there, the numbers. Look at the numbers, look at how you can change and grow, how you can sell high-end or high-ticket to fund your business so that you can keep going, like a Marcia Kilgore, okay? I found that most people who say that money isn't important don't have any. Yeah. You can't help the poor financially if you don't have any money. And here's the thing. I think that also they may not have ever had it to work with, or if they've had it and lost it, that feeling of loss can be traumatic, and they don't want to do it again, right? So they want to stay low. And they also see it as stressful. But what it really is it's a new kind of stress. And so what I have found is that with money, it actually alleviates stress, and then you can hire out, and you can, you have access. This is it right here. You have access to help. You have access to higher level information. You have access of time. You have more time. Those that grow a business and they say, I don't have time, they probably need to hire more, right? Because when you have the investments working for you, or when you have the company flowing the way you want, a lot of times you have more time than you ever dreamt, and especially than you did in the first year. That's the way it should be. Okay, and anyone that that doesn't do that is because they're actually choosing. They're actually choosing to be a workaholic. Everything is a choice, right? Everything is a choice. So I've always been impressed with serial entrepreneurs. I love their mindset, and I wanted to share that story with you. It is impressive, and it is inspirational. And no, we're not all meant to be serial entrepreneurs, but why not learn from them, right? Why not learn from someone like a Marcia Kilgore and really study, like, what is it that she did, and do a little bit of reading. So if you were to Google Marcia Kilgore, you'll learn more about her. She's got a great interview, a couple of them actually. But surround yourself with these minds, okay, so that you can overcome the obstacles that are stopping you. You got to stay in the peak zone. You've got to stay in that moxie zone, where you are beating self-doubt. And I'm here to tell you, I've had self-doubt. We all have. But there's a place that you can go in your mind where you can really dissolve self-doubt. And when it starts creeping in, which, by the way, all entrepreneurs feel it, but when it starts creeping in, you got to start taking action. That's when you got to start taking action. And some of that action is simply just surrounding yourself with stories that puts you in the mindset of, okay, if she did that, then I can do this, right? Sometimes it's that simple. And then, of course, like I say, I always give the suggestion of writing it out as if it's already happened. Do that writing, do the visualization, and you will find yourself actually taking actions that you've never taken before. Because sometimes the wiring in our brain, right, it's very habitual. The wiring in our brain might be interrupted with the perpetual self-doubt that's been going on. So you got to cut that out. Get around the right people. High Ticket Mastery has started. If you are interested in starting, send me a message. High Ticket Mastery will be focusing on, and what we focus on, I'm in there every day, and we are focusing on building our list. Sorry about the interruption. Working on what's the most important thing in your business, because here's another thing. In the first year, second year of your business, you can really get scattered and not be hitting the numbers and not know why, and think that you're not cut out for it. It's so easy to go there. But here's the thing, there are, with an online business, as you're building your subscriber list of warm leads, as you're creating your offers, as you're creating your programs and your products, it's actually, it's easier than you think when you take the right actions and consistently. It's a lot easier than you think. Okay, so if you're interested in High Ticket Mastery, it's a year-long program. Message me. Right now, it's $497 a month. It will be going up in price within probably 60 days. I haven't decided yet, but it's $497 a month. And what I really focused on and wanted for this group and this program is super high value, and to make it affordable for anyone. Okay, because money is everywhere, it really is, and we work on mindset a lot, and we work on money mindset, and that really helps you start to make money. So giving the $497 a month payment plan gives people the opportunity to turn that into cash and pay for it, as well as help fund their business. So we focus on high ticket for a reason. You've got to fund your business. You've got to fund it, right? And finding investors to help your startup isn't going to work with that, with a online service-based business as well. I mean, if you can spend a lot of time trying to find investors for it, but they're going to want to see proof. They're going to want to see the list of warm leads. They're going to want to see all those things. So you might as well put all of that effort into building that list, okay, and starting out with the right product and the right price for you, okay, and learning how to sell high ticket. That will fund your business, okay? Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye.